Hi, I'm Reb Myron. I'm a minister through Pathways of Light, and I've been a Course in Miracles student for 40 years. I'm going through the lessons this year, asking Jesus to clarify for me as I have in the past. And then I'm writing from that clarity, and that's what I'm sharing with you today. So let's get started. We're looking at lesson 303. The Holy Christ is born in me today. Watch with me, angels. Watch with me today. Let all God's holy thoughts surround me and be still with me while heaven's Son is born. Let earthly sounds be quiet and the sights to which I am accustomed disappear. Let Christ be welcomed where he is at home, and let him hear the sounds he understands and see the sights that show his Father's love. Let him no longer be a stranger here, for he is born again in me today. Your Son is welcome, Father. He has come to save me from the evil self I made. He is the self you have given me. He is but what I really am in truth. He is the Son you love above all things. He is myself as you created me. It is not Christ that can be crucified. Safe in your arms, let me receive your Son. The following is what I wrote before, and I cannot imagine a truer expression of my feelings. I am so deeply touched by this beautiful lesson that I hardly know what to say. I'm transfixed by the idea of birthing Christ within me today. As I read it, my hand went to my heart, my mind, to the center of my being. Here's what I am in truth. Yesterday, I received a message answering a question that was in my heart. I wondered what else I needed to do to awaken. The message I received said this: you are in complete control of everything. Just let go of your desires to be anything less than what you are and move forward into the light. Today I read this lesson and contemplate this extraordinary intention to prepare a home for Christ and welcome him to be born again in me today. I can't remember how I used to spend my time before I knew who I was. I used to struggle with believing in myself, as this message shows. This is from further in the past. This is the most beautiful lesson. I cried when I read it. I hardly know what to say after this. What can I add? I will say only that I'm willing to allow Christ to be born in me today. I'm willing to set aside, with the Holy Spirit's help, all that I've chosen that is not the Christ, so that the Christ can rise in me and take its proper place. I'm willing to welcome the Christ and prepare his place by continuing my daily practice and by renewing my vigilance for those thoughts not in alignment with truth. For as long as I need to, I'm willing to be what I am in truth. What would you have me know, Holy Spirit? And the message I received was this: do not be afraid to accept the truth about yourself. Claim your grandeur without hesitation and without fear. The ego mind will argue for your smallness and will call you arrogant and foolish. Do not listen to this voice. When I guide you to say a thing or do a thing, do not doubt it or question it. The ego will say, who are you to think you can do this thing? There is nothing above you, child of God. It is not the ego in your mind that claims these gifts, but the truth. It is your true self. It is God through you that does all things. You do not fully accept this identity yet, and this is why you must allow me to guide you and why you must allow me to work through this body as you, because I am you. You are not without help as you make this transition. God's angels do surround you. If you knew the help you have, you would laugh at the ego's doubts and fears. When you fully accept your true identity, you will have no doubts or fears. In the meantime, listen to my voice. Ask me many times during the day what I would have you do. Accept my direction in full confidence that what I give you to do, you can do. This is a message for us all. And later, I continued our conversation. I said, this lesson and your words to me are so lofty and my heart swells as I read them. And yet I feel resistance. I feel very petty and small as I say this, but you have said we should keep nothing from each other. So let me tell you that I seem most afraid of looking foolish in front of others. For example, this Friday, when I was worried about a cut on my finger, it seemed at first to be healing quickly, and then it seemed to get worse. It was red and swollen, and I wondered if it was infected. I fretted about it for a day or two. Then as I was looking at it, I put my hand on the cut and I said, heal. I didn't know where that came from, but it felt right. It came out of my mouth, not as a hope, but as a gentle command. It seemed to get better immediately. The tenderness went away, and by the next day, it was drying up. Just as you shared today, I began to think about what happened, and the thinking mind tried to figure out what happened and what it means. But I let that go. Then the ego warned me about sharing this with anyone. What if I imagined the healing? What if it was going to do that anyway? What if I tell someone, then it gets worse? I will look foolish. Even now, I want to delete all of this. And Holy Spirit said, and yet you're not deleting it. The ego is afraid. You're not the ego. Turn your attention away from ego thoughts. The ego says to be afraid to let the Christ rise in you. It says, let things be as they are, to slip back into the darkness where you will not be noticed, where God will not see you. But I ask you, does it make sense to be afraid to allow the Christ to rise in you? What really could there be to fear? Does it seem odd that you should command the flesh to heal? You command the world you know to exist. You do this all the time. If you stopped commanding this, that world would disappear. You are not mistaken in your power, only afraid of it. Do not hide behind the ego longer than you must. But until you're ready to step out into the light and accept your true identity, give me your faith. I will direct you, and God's angels will safeguard you. Thank you so much for joining me in this lesson. It's one that I love very much and always touches me deeply when I do it. So I'm happy that I'm not doing it alone. If you found this helpful, then please like it. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe. And I'll be back tomorrow with another lesson.